Welcome to Romania, a wonderful country located at a distance of less than 3 hours from any European capital. Exciting and romantic, Bucharest is a landmark of Romania. The city is cozy and full of charm. Its past is still visible and the present is full of life. It used to be known as the Small Paris in the past due to its exquisite atmosphere and architecture. Today, the tumult of the commercial streets is happily and nicely balanced by the peacefulness of the stately buildings and by the cultural life of West European inspiration. A Bucharest of music, a Bucharest of theaters, of festivals, art galleries, and museums. A living city emerging from the blend of Oriental mystery and Western elegance. At the border between past and present, with its famous museums, with exhibitions, with exquisite palaces, Bucharest is always the same and always different, always waiting to be rediscovered. Romania is one of the few European countries with a constellation of seaside resorts, a dream destination for the tourists. Aquamagic is the biggest amusement park of Romania, an attraction for the tourists of all ages. A wonder world of the water games visited by 3,000 tourists every day, a pleasure that you cannot resist. On the chairlift, you'll enjoy the unique thrill of a trip over the Black Sea Riviera. The waves wash the shore with almost no cliffs. You will find here the finest sands in Eastern Europe. History has left important traces here. You can see the ruins of the ancient Greek cities of Thomas, Calades, and Histria. The museums are full of relics that bear witness of the ancient history of these places. The beaches and the hotels, with their exotic architecture, have amplified the fame of these resorts. All the resorts have 2, 3, or 4-star hotels and camping areas with all the necessary utilities. The balneal and treatment centers have state-of-the-art equipment. The best specialists will offer you assistance in the treatment of various diseases. A fine vacation and a healthier life. This is what you get if you come to the Romanian seaside. The lovers of the nightlife will enjoy the clubs, discos, and traditional restaurants. The traditional Romanian meals and the wines with fine flavors are irresistible. If you add some music and dance, you have the image of a perfect evening. The Danube, the king of the European rivers, as Napoleon called it, gifted Eastern Romania with a delta that is unique in the world. An exotic place with over 1,200 species of trees and plants, unique colonies of birds, and a lot of fish. Today you can choose between staying in a hotel or boarding house or taking a cruise on a 3- or 4-star boat. This is a luxurious alternative for those who do not have the necessary gear for a trip on a traditional boat. The inhabitants of the remote villages in the national park live on fishing. There is no better way to end a date in the Danube Delta than a party around the campfire. Skiing is the favorite activity of the winter tourists in Romania. You'll find here modern ski tracks with lighting systems. The mountain resorts along the Prahova Valley offer best leisure conditions for tourists. In Sinaia and Bushten, the winter tourism season lasts several months a year. A city of exceptional beauty, Brașov takes pride in its history of almost 700 years. The Black Church dominates the medieval part of the city. It is the largest religious building in the whole area between Vienna and Istanbul. Built in the Middle Ages, the citadel of Brașov has its own story. The castles and palaces of Romania display a variety of styles from Baroque, Renaissance, and Gothic to Art Nouveau, Rococo, and Brunkoveni. It is pure history carved in stone, an echo of the ancient times, richness and strength, legend and reality, past and present, a bridge over the centuries. For more than 8 centuries, lords, princes, and kings gave life to their palaces. Blending images and legends, the palaces stood to bear witness of a specific confrontation, the encounter of the innovative West with the magnificent East. Romania's culture has preserved the influence of a Saxon community with its famous citadels, places of refuge for the peasants living in the area. Located 15 kilometers away from Brașov, the Rizhnov citadel was built in limestone, its style and position being unique. The castle of the Huniads is a stately building. It was erected in the 14th century on the site of an ancient fort. You can recognize it by the high roofs with windows and balconies decorated with stone tracery. The Bran Castle is a place of mystery and legend, the cradle of the myth of Dracula. The citadel of Sighișoara is the most beautiful and best preserved in Transylvania. It looks like an open-air museum, a unique place in Eastern Europe. The tourists have the opportunity to take a trip back in time to the medieval atmosphere of the past centuries. The entire citadel is a museum, and each building is a monument. In the Middle Ages, the city had almost the same number of houses, 150. Sighișoara is a place with a flourishing cultural life, festivals of medieval art and of academic music. Tourists from all over the world love to come back here. Artists have pictured the citadel on canvas, in poems or in music. Sighișoara is a fairy tale citadel. Sibiu is a landmark for the Saxon community of Romania, a borough whose architecture and life observe all the rules of the Germanic civilization, an island in a Latin sea in Eastern Europe. The Brukenthal Palace belonged to one of the favorites of Queen Maria Theresa. The Baron of Brukenthal turned his residence into a museum. Near Sibiu, the Astra Museum is a wonderful display of Romanian traditional art, a place where the old atmosphere has been preserved and everything is fantastic and remote. One of the rare places where you can admire the skills of the last genuine craftsman. The present has its roots in the past. This is where the wine road starts, a way that the Romanian people walked on 2,000 years ago. Today, the vineyards of the ancient kings and nobles yield fruit and perpetuate the fame of the flavored Romanian wines. Making a stop at an old manor house, you'll have the opportunity to taste the traditional food and the special wine that will delight you. A day in a Romanian vineyard is like a flight above the clouds. Bucovina, a legendary place surrounded by ancient forests. The monasteries offer you a refuge far from the turmoil of the world at the beginning of the new millennium. In the porch of any monastery in the upper lands, you will experience a feeling of great peace and closeness to God, a nature that brings peace to your soul. You can discover everywhere landscapes on which the passing of time left little trace. The mystery of the Romanian village is one of the best protected secrets of Europe. Far from the tumult of the big cities, the Romanian village draws more and more tourists who want to escape from the daily stress and discover an amazing world. The mixture of cultural diversity, tradition, spiritual purity, and hospitality becomes more and more attractive to the people who live in the crowded cities. The frank and rough faces of the Romanian peasants, eager to welcome their guests, will make your daily cares and monotony disappear in seconds. The churches are the most wonderful things to see in Moldavia. The multicolored facades make them comparable to the San Marco Church in Venice or to the Dome in Orvieto. You will not see anything like this anywhere in the world.